do these guys know how to stitch the
अभी आ रहा है तुम लोगों को
later?
चालू हो गया.
No.
हो गया.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start.
So
Yeah,
What a
let's start.
30
soon,
minutes
soon.
wrap up.
hello guys. Hey there, we meet again.
Hi guys.
This is,
No, that
this is a really
Jordan
weird
is the-
date.
Jordan is then get some help.
You can be like,
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
Did my camera
ठीक है.
flip?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Hello and
Nobody
welcome
cares, Tejas.
to another
Now?
You look
podcast
sexy
by
in both angles.
अरे भाई.
Uh,
We only have 1 hour 47 minutes of recording time, huh? So just remember that. And I use
yeah,
frozen.
अरे
again.
We need only 40,
Yeah.
40 minutes
हाँ,
tops.
चलो.
30 minutes max. This should be like style.
अरे चुप कर, सातवीं फेल.
Let's start.
Yes. So guys, hello and welcome to
Naman and
another
his
podcast
squinted eyes.
by. अबे हो गया किसी को कोई कमेंट मार रहे हैं.
No. हाँ,
Hello
चालू है.
कुछ नहीं.
अबे बहुत है.
Hello, अरे यार.
Ayush, you start.
Ayush, you
This is
start.
absolute
Yeah,
going to
you
take.
should
Yeah.
start.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Rupeeting Podcast. My name is Ayush and we have Laksh, Tejas and Naman on the podcast today. Before we begin, we'd just like to inform you all that none of the topics that we speak about during the course of the podcast is investment advice in any way. And all the securities that we mentioned, none of them are recommendations. It's just for education and entertainment purposes only.
Yeah,
So,
man.
let's kick it
Yeah.
off by asking the universal question. As Indians, do all of us like the king of fruits, mango?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Where
We have
man
one vote for
goes.
yes.
No.
We have one vote for yes with Laksh, one with no with Naman, and Tejas is also no. And even
Ah,
I'm no,
very-
unfortunately.
Disappointing group of Indians, huh?
Yeah, we do. We don't really
Yeah,
bear
yeah,
the
yeah,
tricolor
right.
flag for fruits well.
I swear.
True.
So what is
It's
your
too
favorite?
But
overrated.
surprisingly,
It's
But what's your favorite food?
Yeah.
Fruit? What's your favorite fruit?
mine, I like melons.
Oh. Yeah. That was it. Huh?
Naman, you?
Zoom.
Naman likes
it's
kela, I know that.
No, shut up. It's watermelon for me.
Naman likes a good banana after nice
The gym.
session. I swear. Hey, that day you only told us
No, what?
that you like to have banana after gym.
Hey, shut up.
One
I like
long banana.
watermelons, yeah.
Don't be this thing, shy. You can
Yeah.
enjoy a banana on your own time.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I
You
don't
said-
like bananas at all.
You said your
We don't
post gym.
judge
Your post
No,
gym
no.
food was one banana and 2 cherries, bro. Don't lie, bro.
Hey, yaar, yaar.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Yes, but coming back to the
But-
topic.
Yeah, it's
mangoes,
watermelon.
great fruit.
Yes.
Even though 3 out of 4 people on this podcast don't like it, but surprisingly, the rest of the country does because India is one of the top producers of mangoes in the whole world, with about 20 million tons or 2 crore tons of mangoes produced in a single year every year,
That's just 4 months.
which is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
That's a lot.
with that comes like the trend of drinking packaged mango juice that we've been having since like we're children, whether it's like the old products that are like Mangola and all that we used to get in glass bottles, to now us drinking Maaza and Slice in the plastic
What
ones.
is Mangola, bro?
Cola, no.
You don't remember Mangola?
No.
You don't
I
remember
know
the
this,
company? Yeah.
I know this.
It was made by the company Duke's Soda wala.
Yeah.
Ah, Duke Soda, I know.
Bro, Dukes is
Yeah,
made
Mangola
by
was their
Pepsi.
product. So Mangola was like
We
OG
had
mango
Mangola.
juice in packaged
Yeah.
form. Yeah.
It was
Oh.
like one of the first mangoes
Yeah,
Mango
Oh,
in India.
okay, chal, I've had this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now I need to
No,
check.
I think it was good to like.
But again,
Used to enjoy
the
drinks
shitty,
tabhi, bro.
a shitty
Exactly.
taste.
Bro. Now we don't really appreciate.
Yeah, I swear. Okay, one question off topic. Do you all like plastic bottles to drink beverages or glass bottles?
Glass bottles.
Even I prefer glass bottles.
Glass,
Yeah.
yeah, same. It
Glass
has a
bottles.
It has
different
a
taste only. More
I
fresh
have
Yeah.
taste.
no
It does.
preference.
It does.
Tejas is a healthy boy.
He doesn't drink sugary drinks at all.
Yeah, they use gym rat.
Gym freak.
I
You
gym
only
rats are
Gym
the
have
rat.
ones who end up drinking the most coffee, most
Yeah,
sugar,
yeah,
all of that nonsense.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is
he
true
has
because I have a lot of sugar.
Having the most kela after gym and all.
That is Naman.
no.
That will be Naman.
This
Come on, bro.
this
It's
can't.
okay. It's
Okay, getting
But
back to the
again,
point.
Getting
coming
back
back
to
to
the
the
point.
topic, mango,
Yeah.
one of the biggest producers in in the world, and we also, because mango juices that are produced need mango pulp, because even if mangoes are only available for like 4 months in the year, for the rest of the 8 months, if you want to have mango juice, you can't just like sit tight. You create the
Yeah.
mango pulp or produce and process the mango pulp in those 4 months, and then you store it, and then you add it to your product.
I remember before researching about this company, I thought they
Yeah.
make all of their mango in one go only. All the Maaza is made in those 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. And I think Lux also, in the course of this research, only realized that these products have
Yeah,
an expiry date.
yeah,
So, did you
yeah.
finally throw out that 1 year old
Yes,
bottle of Sprite that's lying on your
yes,
fridge?
yes.
And 2-year-old bottle of Baileys.
No,
Yeah.
that to
Oh
Naman
my
only
God.
finished, so that is fine.
That's not fair, huh?
I mean, but it
You
wasn't
poisoned
2 years
me.
old, bro. And Bailey stays, bro. Bailey's is fine for like 2 years. It's fine, you don't worry.
You
No.
Arey, bro, it has a
It's
2 year.
you
it's not
poisoned me,
Chal,
fine.
brother.
I'll give you
Naman, it was
stale
only.
milk and sada of fruit one day, and then you tell me whether it's good or
But it has alcohol no, that prevents it from
not. Sure,
getting.
sure. That's the reason it lasts the 2 years also.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it
that's
would have
what.
solidified in a month only. No?
Yeah.
Month? Bhai, 2 दिन.
Days,
It is
bro,
milk.
days, yeah.
See, bro,
Fridge
that's why
में
I
जाके, I
wasn't.
mean, I
I
don't know
wasn't.
Laksh's time
No, no, no.
patience.
It was in the fridge only. The bottle was in the fridge only. Bottle also
Arey, but
expired. It
it
was a
doesn't matter,
miniature.
bro. 2 years.
It wasn't 2 years, bro. Over 12 months or something. That's it.
Hey,
1
15
year.
months हो गया था.
Anyway, again, back to the topic.
Yeah. Back to the
Uh,
topic.
biggest producer of mangoes, one of the largest exporters and producers of mango pulp that goes into these drinks. But if you look at it in like a macro perspective, as we mentioned earlier, about 2 crore tons of mangoes produced in a
2
year.
crore tons.
Only 7% of it, yeah, only 7% of it is actually used for mango pulp or processed pulp creation. And out of that, a very small percentage of, like in numbers, about 2 lakh tons, which is a total of 1% of the entire mango produce, is the pulp that's exported. And still, India ranks at the largest exporter of mango pulp with like a 50% market
Yeah.
share.
50% market share.
Yeah, which is great.
So,
And coming again back to the topic that the stock that Laksh picked for us to discuss this week, is the largest producer and exporter of this mango pulp in India. And the company's name is
Foods and Inns.
drum rolls. A
Foods and
very
Inns.
weird name.
Yes.
You gave a
Yeah.
drum roll after the reveal. Huh?
Yeah, we'll
That,
put it in. We'll put it in post. Edit.
that was a drum roll, not a drum roll. So no more shots on.
Yeah, but yeah, interesting
Yeah,
company
yeah, but
because unlike their name, which they do nothing about, like they don't really do food and they don't have any inns,
Inns.
but they are the
in
largest producers and exporters of mango pulp in the country, with about 80+% of revenue coming in from this particular segment, and them being responsible for a majority of the pulp that goes into products like Maaza and
Maaza
Slice,
and
etc.
Slice.
So there's a fun fact. If you've had a bottle of Maaza, there's a 50% chance you've consumed this company's product because they supply
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah, you drank
And
the
a
pulp of
20%
foods
chance.
and ate it,
Yeah,
which sounds horrifying.
Sorry.
you know, right? What Maaza means in Marathi?
Mine,
Yours.
right?
Mine.
Yeah.
Mine.
Huh. Yeah, so
So
basically you're
Ocean.
drinking their pulp.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Naman, don't consume Maaza.
I to hate it, yeah.
Interesting.
Mango
Yeah,
is
you
like,
He's on a different team, bro. He has a different kind of pulp.
oh shit, yaar. Why is this
Yeah,
coming on me today?
Naman,
Yellow boy.
just for your information, the company also makes banana pulpa if you ever just wanted more liquidy or something.
You she.
It's
Gross.
like post-workout, yo.
We're all a bunch of 4-year-olds doing stock research for no reason. Yeah.
But
That's
coming
Yeah,
back to
but
the topic,
again, coming back to the topic, I think Laksh, you can just give us a little bit of a primer on how the industry has performed, what kind of growth drivers there have been, and why they've done so well as a mango pulp producer and exporter.
okay, so currently the agri-food industry has been growing at a 12% 5-year CAGR, and as compared to the industry, currently foods and inns is growing at a 24% 5-year CAGR, which is like
quite
spectacular.
remarkable. It's
Yes.
growing
Double
at
than
double
the
the pace.
And
of
yeah, this has also happened due to the recent consumer shift to healthier food practices. Maybe like nowadays, a lot of people are starting having uh, fruit smoothies and healthier stuff basically. So this is where
Mustangs.
yeah, more Mastani Tejas, as Tejas would say.
Yeah.
So this
Mastani
is
is not healthy, yeah.
Not
Just
healthy.
saying.
not healthy, but
And
yeah,
neither
mangoes
is the
used.
fruit juice that we're drinking. It's
Yeah.
extremely
It's not.
sweet. But it's healthier than an aerated beverage, which is what
Yeah,
Naman
yeah,
was
yeah,
mentioning.
Also,
yeah.
this is not an
No.
dietary advice.
It isn't. It has more sugar than it. More sugar, more
Is it?
preservative. Yeah.
But at least there's no
Seriously?
carbonation.
Yeah.
Carbonation
That's
is
Carbonation is
bad.
not that bad, bro.
that bad,
No,
bro.
like you're saying, net it might be more sugar, but the carbonated aerated drinks have more added sugar, which is the harmful bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the canned products that this company sells, they are sweetened and unsweetened.
Yeah. So I mean,
Hello.
obviously,
Hey, Ayush, you
Kanisha.
froze, huh?
And it
My
will
audio was
record
working,
him.
right?
It will
Yeah,
record for
It will
you,
record
so
him
you can
locally.
just continue.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
not stop unless everyone's starting to lag at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Naman, you say whatever you want to say about the industry.
Cool. Okay, so this was on the industry bit, but currently, 50% of Coca-Cola's and 20% of Pepsi's supply of mango is being done by this company. And cherry on the cake, currently Coca-Cola tends to invest about roughly $1 billion into expanding its Maaza capacity. So this
In India,
is,
na?
Did you say $1 billion?
huh?
Did you say $1 billion?
Yeah, about $1
That's
billion,
insane. Sure.
and which
8,000 crores for
about
mangoes,
8,000,
bitch.
yeah,
For
8,500.
mango juice, yeah, that's what. That's
And
insane.
this would
That
be
I
a
don't
direct
even like.
benefit to the foods and its business, cause about 82% of the revenue is coming from this segment for the company.
Right.
So if we quantify a $1 billion expanding capacity to 82% segment revenue, we can see the growth that might
So,
happen in the.
Coca-Cola is
Yeah.
planning to increase their capacity by around 40%. So, I think that should result into additional revenue. Okay, I don't think so. We can mention that.
No, this is
No,
a
no, we are not.
logical
Revenue
data
is fine,
point that
yeah.
you're doing.
So,
Yeah.
so if you just take logically, you can expect somewhere the mango pulp business somewhere in the near future to expand by 40% the revenue from that segment because they
What is
I
it
don't think
currently?
I don't think we can do that in terms of a direct correlation. Like just because capacity increases by 40% doesn't mean sales will. It can be lower, it can be higher.
Higher as
But
well, yeah.
but we at least
let's
this can
take
be a
it
growth
let's
driver.
take it as a product of how they've grown in the past 5 years. So if it's been a 24% revenue CAGR in 5 years, we can expect an equivalent growth or possibly a little more because of one reason which Naman said, which is the switch to uh, quote unquote healthier beverages or more fruity beverages. And then what Luck said, which is the Coca-Cola expansion, that they're clearly seeing a demand for mango-based drinks. I mean, if
Plus,
you don't put $1 billion unless you're sure of
sure
the
about
outcome.
something. Plus,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
what do you say? There's an increase in export demand as well. Uh,
Right.
like countries like UAE, UAE and other countries
Exactly.
that bro, I got scared for a second
UAE and
because
other countries.
no, because I was like, fuck, man, I'm getting geography into this, and I was like, fuck, this can go sideways.
Lakshan is geography.
Very quickly.
Yeah, that's why luckily UAE only came. Otherwise, I would be like countries like Dubai. But yeah,
Eh, but
so
but we can have a geography question at the end of the podcast. Just
okay, chal,
saying.
I'll ask you a
Ayush, you
I
ask
don't
question.
him.
think we want
Where
to.
do you think most of the mango in India is produced?
Oh, it's so simple. It's
Ratnagiri.
Uttar
Ratnagiri.
Pradesh.
Oh no, it's Ratnagiri, no.
You're
Ratnagiri
talking
है.
about state, right? It's Uttar
Yeah, I'm
Pradesh.
talking.
State is Maharashtra.
Maharashtra, yeah.
No,
It
Uttar
Oh
won't be.
Pradesh,
no?
I think.
It is Uttar
Oh
Pradesh.
Because
damn.
there are many other type of mangoes. Right? Ratnagiri का वो Alfonso ही है. There's Totapuri, then there's Kesari and all of that also.
There's a so there's about 1,000 variants of mangoes that are found in
Mango,
India
yeah,
only.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
but
know
the
there's one
Badami.
mango which is like which is for 3 lakh for one single mango.
That's
Yeah,
Korean or
yeah.
Japan,
I've heard
no?
of this.
yeah,
Nahi,
yeah.
nahi, it
I've
is in
also heard
India.
of it.
There's
Which
one in India as well. Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
of the Japanese one. Those are like way too expensive.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What?
The Japanese ones
Most.
they're a little reddish and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
little
yeah.
reddish.
This is also
extremely
reddish
sweet.
only.
Extremely
It
This
must
is
be a
sweet.
also reddish
similar
only.
like they must have a similar like genome. But yeah, there's mangoes that are that expensive also.
Yeah. So Laksh,
Yeah, Gino.
okay,
Yeah,
I think you
Miyazaki
can have.
yeah.
mango.
Yeah. The Miyazaki man. That's the expensive one.
And do you know where it is? Hey, it is 3 kg, 3 lakhs per kilogram. Hey. It's not per piece.
Whatever. 1 kg is how many? 2 mangoes or 3
Huh.
mangoes.
Yeah, that's still a lot,
Around
bro.
'That's
3 mangoes.
still a lot, bro. 1 lakh for a
Yeah.
mango. It's better that we don't have
Hmm.
mango.
So where do you think you find it?
उसमें खराब निकल गया.
हाँ,
Where do you
खराब
find the
निकला तो
Miyazaki mango? I don't know. Kerala? Obviously
no.
Japan.
अरे नो रे वेस्ट बंगाल.
Oh.
Oh, you mean in India?
Yeah.
West
दोराबजी में
Bengal.
मिलता है क्या?
किधर किधर
कहाँ पे?
you get it in
दोराबजी में मिलता है
जापान.
क्या?
दोराबजीज में मिलता
वो पहले इंश्योरेंस लेना पड़ेगा इसके लिए. Fuck bro,
जो खाएगा उसका
it
इंश्योरेंस बनाओ पहले.
it's damn it looks also damn tasty bro.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Not fascinated. Huh?
Not
First of
fascinated.
all, I don't like mangoes. And second
It
thing,
looks like an
3 लाख
apple from
एक
outside.
आम के ऊपर.
It looks like an apple
Yeah.
from the outside.
It's quite red, yeah. Okay, but
लाल है.
again, let's
You'll have seen that meme over. पूरा ठेला लाल.
yeah. Okay, but
So
coming back again to the topic,
mangoes,
mangoes,
yeah.
yeah.
So mango
They've
season is
shown great
only for like
promise.
4 months,
Yeah.
Correct.
In
and
that
still the
season
companies
also
Good
happens.
manage
point.
to.
Exactly. Managed to do so well. in the past 5 years
Yes.
also.
Yeah.
But good point that you mentioned that, Tejas. If they're only functioning for 4 months out of 12, what the hell are the machines doing for the rest of the 8?
Rest of the 8 months.
Dum,
Which
dum, dum,
Yeah.
is
dum, dum.
which is what which is what now Tejas will be explaining. It's something that the company is doing called Beyond Mangoes. So it's just like a
So
huge variety
yeah,
of things that they're doing with their machinery in the other 8 months, which will prove to be
Hey,
growth
1 second. I
drivers
want
in the
to
future, hopefully.
get something in now.
That's what she said.
but
You can't name it Beyond Mangoes, because that Beyond Mangoes ka private
Is
limited
only
is
the
something.
pectin thing. Is
Ah,
only the
yeah.
pectin
So
thing.
don't,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
please
But it's a
don't
brand.
confuse.
We can say all that's okay.
Ah, the company is
That's
doing
part of the
something
branding of the
beyond.
company is given. So we're not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also fair.
Uh,
But
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
Let
So
this be
want
part
to
of the
let's.
know.
podcast. It's okay.
yeah. So now will you shut up, Laksh? Let me speak. So
Tell. Tejas. Go ahead.
so for the 4 months that the company is extracting all the pulp of mango pulp, the next
Mhm.
8 months it will be processing all the pulp that it has gathered for the 4 months that it has preserved, and the juice can be made for the rest 8 months. Then, like the juice can be made available for all year round
Yeah.
and not just 4 months. So they're changing, not just doing this not just for mangoes but also for tomatoes, so that tomato puree can be used, and that has been more useful for the past couple of months because tomato prices hiked to crazy, like crazy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people were like, do we should we consume tomatoes or not? And that was the time when this
Yeah.
company might have made a good revenue from this segment.
Yeah.
And
Last,
And this is
that
something that can
segment,
happen quite often also,
yeah,
because I think
Yeah.
European
yeah,
segment is where most of the world's tomatoes
most
come
of
from,
it
and if they're always going to be in like this limbo of whether we're going to make tomatoes or not,
producing,
there will
not,
have to
not
be alternatives. Yeah,
yeah,
there's going to have to be
especially
alternatives like to pulp,
plus them
especially.
using those greenhouse production
Yeah, yeah,
units, and the cost
yeah,
of energy being very high for them right now due to the war.
extremely high. Exactly.
So I think the strategy, like the company's strategy of getting into or expanding their tomato
diversifying,
horizon,
yeah.
Yeah,
that plays well.
exactly. Right. And if we had to
It
quantify,
has played
Tejas,
well
how much
because,
revenue? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I think you're
yeah,
so
heading
it
towards
has
that.
made a revenue of 23 crores last year, 2022, mein, and the revenue doubled to 51 crores this year.
So
And
clearly
this
it
is
worked
just
out. That's
5% of the total revenue. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it is
It
growing at
clearly
a
worked out.
great, yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Apart
Because
from
you
that, it is
mentioned
doing
tomatoes were just
what?
started by this company in 2019. Just to mention, the
hmm.
production of
Oh,
tomatoes, like the company got into
And
this,
processing of tomatoes, you mean?
yeah, processing tomatoes around 2019, 2020.
So from
okay.
0 to 50
And they also
odd
do
crores in like 3 years is insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
That's
good.
insane.
3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
3 years.
What else are they doing in terms of diversification?
They are doing spray dried powder, which is like a powdered form of variety of fruits, uh, like vegetables, like uh, and they can be used for food color or to make ready to use snacks. Just mix it. It is water soluble, easily water
Yeah.
soluble, and you mix it with water and you get the required juice or pulp, whatever you want, whichever fruit you want.
Yeah. Like,
So
And
to be
like
honest,
does
I
the
it
Basically, if we
never
had to
good?
knew
put it
company
that.
in
has
context for
doubled its,
if we had to put it in context for the user, if you've
Yeah.
eaten like ramen or
Smoothies.
chips or something, the kind of
Yeah.
powder that you see as oh ये vegetable का flavor है or ये color है, those
Hmm.
are spray dried
yeah,
powders basically.
Or suppose you want to put it in
yeah,
smoothies, like, because the thing
Yeah,
is
then
when
you
you
get
spray
fruit
dry
based powders for that.
something, it doesn't kill the nutrient content. It preserves the nutrient
It
content.
doesn't.
So the
and
nutrients are still there.
also it makes
Yeah.
them long lasting, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
Correct. Yeah.
They
The
have
shelf
with
a
less
life
higher.
expands by a lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. And I think on that front,
Also, on
Tejas,
chips,
what
you
is the
get
company
that
doing?
powdered masala type thing, na?
Ah,
Tomato powder or
exactly.
something like that on chips.
All of that.
Correct.
You,
Yeah.
it is used there as well.
Yeah.
And this company has doubled its production from 500 metric ton to 1100 metric ton and plans to run it on like 100% capacity by the end of 2024. So right now they are not even doing like optimizing their like working on 100%, but still they are managing to do 1100 metric tons.
Yeah.
So that's a big number.
That is a big number.
Uh,
Especially for a segment
yeah,
that barely makes 2% or something of revenues for them. Maybe
Yeah,
lesser.
about 5%. Huh, yeah, actually 2%. The spray right
Lesser.
powders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's from the
Lux, you
revenue front.
explain
And I
this
think,
pectin bit.
Pectin.
yeah,
Yeah,
because that's, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so pectin. So before pectin, you want to talk about the B2C or no? They just.
No, we can go in whatever
No,
flow we're talking.
Okay, so
yeah.
pectin
Yeah,
basically what pectin is, it is a vegetable or vegetarian substitute for gelatin. So whenever you eat jelly or you eat jams, or suppose you drink a cough syrup, you have a cough syrup, or you open suppose I think this also this a Pond's or
What is that?
something, a
Oh,
Pond's ka cream. So it will have a bit of gelatin, okay,
okay,
in it.
wait.
So
Gelatin
it's
is non-vegetarian?
it's made from
Gelatin is
animal
yeah.
made
fat.
from beef fat. Yeah, beef
Yes.
fat prefer, and it
I
stinks like hell, and it
Hell,
takes so long
yeah.
to get
So
soluble into anything.
Naman, I'll tell you
Pectin
something. So
solves those
Mapro,
problems.
if you have Mapro ka jelly or if you have
yeah,
Mapro ka this, they use pectin. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So don't worry
Oh,
about that. It is
Yeah, yeah.
vegetarian.
And
But
तेरा
I
दिमाग
just had a
नहीं हुआ.
feeling.
suppose you
I
go
just
to
had a
Aryabhat's
US or
Jain boy
something.
had a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah. But like if you go to US or something, and if you take gummy bears or something, they might contain
yeah,
gelatin in them.
Yeah.
So
They
that
do content, not might.
might. Okay, I
No, if
haven't
it's red and if it's
read. Yeah,
non-vegetarian, it does
exactly.
contain
It
gelatin.
does contain.
If it's vegetarian, it will contain pectin.
Contain
pectin.
pectin.
Basically,
So that
now that's what pectin is. But
yes,
why does
it's
this
like a
matter for foods
substitute.
and in is what's more
Yeah.
interesting.
So why it matters is pectin can be produced by the fruits, the peels of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so normally a pectin producer would rather go out and buy so their raw material would be the peels of suppose fruits and vegetables. So they would have to buy them. Now,
Yeah.
Foods and Inns being a food processing company which does a lot of processing for vegetables and fruits itself, their waste is this peel. Okay,
Yeah.
so the company thought that okay, we make suppose mango pulp. When you pulp a mango, 50% of it goes into waste.
Yeah.
That waste can be used to produce pectin moving forward. And a very good
Okay.
part or a very good advantage for this company to get into the sector is few of the key players in this segment or pectin buyers would be something like a PepsiCo or Nestle and the
Okay.
Unilever, these big companies, which Foods and Inns already has ties with. So that's why it's like
Yeah.
an integrated business or synergy in a way for
Correct.
them
But
because they
the question would
yeah.
arise: how penetrated is the pectin market? Like how
So the pectin
large
market
or
is about 300 crores in India currently, and 95% of our pectin comes from Brazil. What do you say? Brazil, Canada, and no, wait, Brazil, China, and one more country. Okay, so like 95% of it is imported. So not recently, but long ago, the Mapro CEO. manager, he also spoke in an interview saying that we would like to buy pectin from Indian producers, but the thing is, we require pectin in such high quantities that none of the
Yeah.
local players can fulfill the demand. That's why we go out to players as like from countries like China and Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah.
So yeah, so there is a good
Canada
market.
is out of picture now, I think.
Yeah,
No
basically we're
political
cutting with Canada now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a good there's a good opportunity for the company to get into the sector. We don't know as much in the numbers because the company is still yet going to start this business in Q3 of FY24.
Yeah.
But the way they produce waste and uh, this waste being the key raw material for pectin, it only makes sense for them to
Yeah.
get into this
It's
business
a
as well.
no-brainer
Exactly.
thing that they just have to do. Yeah.
कि
And I
मतलब
think they're
कचरा
going to be
है
one of the oh, yeah. And I think
ये
they're going to be the
कचरा है
first
yeah,
companies in India to do it at the kind of scale that they're hoping
scale
to do it at, I think.
yeah but
And if
we
they can
still
just
need to
beat pricing of Brazil and China and everyone, then it's nothing
yeah
like it. 300
or
crore
suppose
market is theirs.
if they try to get a subsidy from the government on this
Yeah.
the
I
saying
mean, I think
because
they're already getting enough support from the government in
exactly
other
because
ways, which we'll also talk about.
it plays that entire theme no that government is
Yeah,
providing help for
possible.
the food and processing. They'll be like we are doing another product in food and processing तो तुम लोग इसका भी कर दो.
That's
And
possible.
if
It's
it's
not,
made in India and China
yeah,
is
more.
name of China comes, government will be to like yeah karo. It's
Correct.
like
Yeah, true. You're not wrong. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
so it just makes sense for a company to get into this business.
Yeah.
But we are still yet to see how fruitful this business will be for the
Oof,
company.
what a pun. What a pun. Great job.
You're the man.
But I think that's like a
How much
lot
of the
about
market
their.
they can pulp out. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Like how much of the market they're able to pulp out and how much they're diversifying out of mango. I think if we were to put that into numbers as well, if currently mango makes up for 82% of their revenues, I think a few years back it was 92%. So we're already
Yeah,
seeing a
around an FY 18,
diversification out.
19.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're already seeing a diversification out of the mango segment and into things like tomato pulp, guava pulp, pectin,
because it makes sense.
your
No, only
spray dried.
if
Yeah,
it's only for 4 months the season. For
yeah,
majorly the factory runs for 4 months. ठीक है.
right.
बाकी फिर क्या करेगा? It's like पड़ा है
Yeah,
उधर. You can use the same machinery to pulp out
exactly.
other fruits. Why not do it? It's like that.
Why not?
Hmm.
That dependency
Yeah.
also reduces. कि suppose
Correct.
अगर
या साइक्लिकल
because
भी
mango
निकल जाएगा उसका पूरा बिजनेस का.
हाँ
Yeah.
because mango is also थोड़ा like crucial no कि अगर बारिश ज्यादा पड़ गया तो खराब हो जाएगा. So raw
So
material
they
prices
need to diversify from like a safety
exactly
aspect also.
exactly. But
So
talking about
apart from these
diversification,
segments, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So I think there's a few other things that they're doing also on a smaller scale, which will hopefully do better in the future.
yeah,
So currently, I think we've only classified them as a company that's behind the brand of Coca-Cola, behind the brand of Pepsi, Nestle, whatever. But they are coming out now, or they have been coming out for the past few years with their own brand of things in the similar segment. So I think they have a brand called Madhu where they directly sell mango pulp to the consumers. So they're
yeah,
finally going from B2B to B2C.
B2C
Then
Yeah.
there's a brand called Kusum, which I think was an acquisition, not a
acquisition,
start of their own.
yeah,
Yeah,
in
which
2019
is
Yeah.
correct.
Spices.
I think that was into spices, exactly. Yeah.
spices.
So they're entering that market also. Although I think that one is a fairly saturated one. Like there's a
Yeah, but
lot of
there's a
people
lot of
doing spices.
consolidation happening in the spices market. If you see, a lot of
Yeah,
these big brands are picking up small spice companies,
true.
and
Yeah,
a lot of spice customer preferences are shifting from local spice vendors to these brands, like
Organized players or something.
organized players, because it's easier to order at home also. It's easier to
Correct.
see. There's like a set
Quality.
quality, या कि मतलब
Yeah.
कोई घर पे बना रहा होगा तो कभी उसका प्रोडक्ट ऐसा आएगा, कभी ऐसा आएगा, like that.
Correct.
So that trend is also there
Yeah.
that we're
And
looking
then
at.
something that they're actually living up to their name for a change. They're going to do
Yeah.
food for a change now, which is
Yes.
frozen food. I think they're doing
Green.
those frozen samosas and spring rolls and all that we
Yeah.
try when your friends come
Samosas,
over.
yeah. And the thing is, okay, I have a controversial thing. I just realized that all these parathas and everything, they have quite a lot of demand coming in from Canada for this.
So this is our chance
Yeah.
to see what else we can do to Canada
Yeah,
as
I
a country.
swear, bro. Because the thing is, the company, like, it supplies, I think, parathas mainly towards Canada's, to
Oh
Canadians.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so,
think not. I think like although it's like a humorous point to make, but
yeah.
it makes logical sense also, and I'm sure there's a lot of North American demand for frozen parathas also because
Yeah,
there's just such a
exactly.
vast population of
Vast.
Indians living there who
And plus,
won't
you,
be given access to like chakki and atta and all
It is
that.
made
yeah,
up of half of the Punjabis,
Yeah,
yeah. For like, and
Punjabis
plus
and
for like
Gujus.
three and a half, $4, you get like 20 rotis or something over there in
Yeah.
which is a
America.
lot. Like it's quite
You,
affordable.
you
And
buy it
nowadays,
and
not
from,
just Indians, but foreigners is it's the Indian
yeah,
food is also growing on foreigners these days.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
true,
yeah.
true.
Chicken tikka masala.
Chicken
yeah,
tikka masala. Very irritating it is to hear Britishers
Honey
talk
tikka
like that.
masala.
But
Bro, but the thing is,
Honey tikka
they
masala.
invented the dish. They invented that dish.
they didn't invent shit. It was a
Bro,
Mughal
chicken tikka masala.
invention. It was a
Yeah,
Mughal
but it
invention
is.
that
But
they
it
so
is.
happened to enter
But
at the exit of the Mughals, and they were like, "Oh, we found this. Abhi hamara hai." Just like
yeah, but
everything
that is
else that
not
the
an Indian
Britishers do.
dish. That is not an Indian dish. That
Just
is an
like
English.
Kohinoor
It
is
is a Hin.
Maaza.
Sorry.
I think that's we need to. We don't have enough factual basis to say that it's not an Indian dish
No, like even if
because
it
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 is
was
an
was
Indian
founded
dish.
in on Indian soil.
soil, but
It
that
may
time what
not
was it?
be totally invention of Hindustanis as a code, like it's probably a mix of influences, but it was on
But
Indian
that time,
soil that moved.
but that's the thing. That time India, I don't know. Fuck it, I'm not talking about
Yeah,
geography.
which is
I'm not
exactly
doing.
why I said let's
They,
not go there. We don't have enough
they
facts to
cannot
talk
even
about it.
digest paneer tikka.
yeah.
Yeah.
प्रोसेस ही नहीं कर सकते वो लोग. It is that spicy for them.
Yeah,
तो काय का घंटा
exactly.
Yeah,
बनाएंगे
And
वो.
yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's one of their national dishes or something they call it,
Curries.
Britain,
Yeah, chicken tikka masala is their national dish. It's their
which is
national curry.
stupid as shit.
Fucking fucking thieves.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But
We
coming
can only
back
have
to
one
us,
enemy at one point, according to geopolitical.
yeah,
Hey, Naman, don't
rules
shut
and
your this,
regulations.
yaar.
It's okay,
Anyway,
let's continue. Naman will
okay.
come and go. Yeah, mango is forever. But speaking of our patriotic views, I think we have more than enough reason to be patriotic in terms of foods and ends because the government has given a fair bit of support through something known as the production linked incentive scheme, which is a name that's
Yes,
thrown out a lot. And I think we've
in
also
recent
covered
time.
quite a few stocks in the past where they've
Yeah.
had PLI
PLI.
exposure but never had an actual PLI deal. This company actually managed to get about almost 150-ish crores from the government for these
Yeah, or is
industries that they're
expected to
in,
have.
For this
Is
quarter, right?
or
expected.
is expected, right? Correct.
Yes,
So I think
for
if Laksh
Christmas.
and Tejas, you all
150
could
crore
just like
they got in
briefly
one
explain.
quarter, na?
Okay, wait. I'll explain this entire thing. Oh, Naman is
Yeah,
back with.
exactly. Different
So,
Sorry,
background.
guys, I lost
so
my
under
New
internet.
this,
background.
the government got out a PLI scheme for food processing companies. Okay, so they got it mainly, mainly no, they divided that into three categories: Cat 1, Cat 2, and Cat
Yeah,
3. In Cat 1 is where our company stays, where
yeah,
it is an sales linked incentive, where the company has to maintain a 10% CAGR
Yeah.
of sales between 2022 and 2027. Okay.
Yeah.
The base year for this is going to be 2020, FY
Two.
2020.
Acha,
No,
2020.
no, FY20.
To qualify for an incentive.
Yeah. So like you had to first of all, okay, let me just structure it. First of all, in 2020, the company had to have 250 crores of sale
Hmm.
in this particular under the fruits and vegetables bandwidth. Okay, there are other bandwidths as well. There's mozzarella cheese, there's marine foods, and there is ready to eat and ready to consume. So now for ready to eat and ready to consume, a company needs to have 500 crores of revenue in FY 2020. That
Right.
the
Okay.
company doesn't qualify for. The company qualifies for the fruits and vegetables part of it, fresh fruits and vegetables, where the company needs to have a sale of 250 crores in FY 2020, where our company had some 330 odd crores or
Right.
360 odd crores of sales. And over that, the company needs to maintain a 10% CAGR till from 2022 to 2027.
So is
Okay.
the company able to do that?
Yeah, bro. The company's grown massively, but let's just leave that for the valuation. Uh,
Yeah.
Coming to how the incentives are going to be. So over and above, so the incremental sales, like suppose this year we have sold 600 crores. Next year we sell 1,000 crores. The 400 incremental sales, the 400 crore ka incremental sales, that multiplied by 10%. So 10% of that the company will receive as an
Okay.
incentive from the government itself, and that will be a full, like it will be a direct bank transfer to the company. We don't know
So
yet
basically, if
how.
we had to
And that will
simplify
be
it
used for
for
what?
those who aren't
Sorry.
well versed with PLI, no, no, I was just saying
Yeah.
that to simplify it for those who aren't very well versed with
But
PLI, the production linked incentive is basically like saying ki if you usually produce 100 units and now you're producing way more than that,
Yeah.
due for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what's happening here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So also the country is doing, or the government is doing this because they want to make a name, and they want to make companies who are globally recognized for food processing all over the world.
Right.
Like they want global giants, Indian global giants in the food processing world. Plus, there is an advantage because of the whole thing of China plus one, where countries are avoiding China and they want to go to other emerging economies
Yeah.
to buy their stuff. India being one of the favorites all around the world, as we can see, everyone
Hmm.
in G20
Correct.
is talking about it. So that is one category that we fit into. The other category that we also fit into is category 3. Skipping through category 2, that is for eggs and meat cuts and everything. So that doesn't excite us as much.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
company also fits into category 3 of the PLI scheme, which says that if a company does advertisement and marketing of its products abroad, so suppose I'm Foods and Inns, okay, me being like I myself or an agency or one of my agencies goes abroad and does advertisement and marketing for my
Yeah.
products, I will
Hmm.
receive 50% of the marketing expense back from the government itself, and that will again be in a form of a bank transfer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
This will be
so
like on some timeline, or
yeah, so that is between 2022 and 2026. Yeah, 2026 and 2020, between 2022 and
But
2026.
is the company like marketing or advertising their products abroad?
Of course, because the
I
company
mean, we're
exports
one of the
40% of
largest
its
exporters of,
products.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
company is 40% customer base lies abroad. So
Yeah.
it only makes sense for the company. And that's why I think the company has grown so exponentially. Plus, the company in FY21, the government uh, agreed to their claim. So after in FY23, the company sent in a claim for its sales under the PLI scheme for FY22, and that was approximately around somewhere 10 crore, like a ballpark figure of 10 crores. To be exact, 9.71 crores. But
Damn.
the
That's
that
great.
got yeah, and that got what do you say? The government accepted, agreed to that.
Yeah, I think you can say
Yeah,
Yeah.
the right word being
agreed.
agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and agreed with that, and the company has got that 10 crores by the government.
Yeah.
So moving forward in the next 6 years, the company expects or projects to get approximately 150 crores from the government itself under this entire
Hmm.
scheme, and that is
Oh,
on the
yeah.
basis of no, in overall,
No, no.
right?
Oh,
And
And that
then
is
the
on
incentive
there.
based on their
yeah,
overproduction. That's to
yeah.
separate.
Okay. Oh, so
Huh?
Yeah.
this.
No, this is the incentive only.
But won't it be, then it'll be a little more than 150 crores. Then we can expect a far larger amount. Assuming everything goes
Yeah.
well for foods and ins, we can expect a larger amount.
No,
Because I think there's some commentary out there that's expecting
no,
over
no.
200.
Yeah.
Is Lux
Including
frozen?
the what do you say? The
Yeah.
yeah, my sorry, hello.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
back.
my internet dipped for a bit. So
Huh.
I think that is including the marketing bit abroad.
Yeah, inclusive of that,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Both the things, right?
So best case
So, yeah.
scenario, the amount can exceed a 200 crore mark also.
As
Yeah,
But
well.
of course,
Yeah.
that's not for us to decide. That's just us telling.
exactly. But
But
yeah,
so
this
let's
entire
just
push.
summarize a little bit of what we've mentioned because I think there's a lot of conversation that's happened. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's just summarize. Foods and Inns, big player in mango processing of pulp, big exporter of mango pulp in a country that stands as the largest exporter of mango pulp in the world. That's point number one.
exactly.
Point number two, about
The
82% of
current
their revenue comes from this place and it's
Diversify.
grown at like a 24-25%
percent
CAGR.
CAG.
But
Yeah.
as you said, they intend to diversify out of that because there's other interesting things that they can do with their time that's not during the mango season. For example,
Yeah.
as the points mentioned by Tejas, tomato pulp, big growing industry, will need to be bridged because of the problems that the European regions are facing. And China plus one strategy will then play a good role in substituting tomato for tomato pulp or tomato puree, and that's where foods and Inns can play a big role.
Yeah.
Point number two being spray dried powders, which is the kind
Powder.
of powders you see in your processed foods like your chips, your Maggies, and all of those kind of things.
Uh,
Ready to eat snacks,
Popcorns,
Smoothies and
basically.
this thing.
Yeah,
popcorns.
exactly. Popcorns and everything, smoothies, etc. And that's also a seemingly cool space that they're investing into with a doubling of capacity that's been seen in the past year from 500 metric ton to 1,100 metric ton, and which will also be operating at full capacity by the end of this financial year. Then there's the whole sustainable aspect of them using their waste from the mango production to create something known as pectin, which is like a
Like,
vegetarian gelatin, and which also has a great market to be fulfilled in India.
and abroad as well,
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
demand is a lot.
Yeah.
Then comes
Yeah,
in the few brands that the company is promoting from their in-house initiatives, and then to tie it all up, the government is giving them a giant 150 crore possible push. All of
yeah,
this is has visibly resulted in some financial metrics that have done well for the company. For example, because of their success in Mango and their diversification that all three of you all mentioned, there has been significant margin expansion. For example, in FY18, uh, let's say that the company's EBITDA margins were around 8%. Now, because they've diversified and because they've done well in the bargain, it's gone to about 10, 11%, which is good considering that in this industry that form of EBITDA expansion is not really common.
because
Common,
raw
yeah.
material is very
Yeah.
volatile.
Very volatile.
Exactly.
The,
Especially
yeah,
in the past 2, 3 years, it's been extremely volatile. And they've
exactly.
managed to somehow truncate that and go about that. And we're expecting these margins to further grow to about a 12 to 13% in the next 1 or 2 years. So,
But even if we see the 2-year revenue CAGR for the like
yeah,
post-COVID, the company
yeah,
grew about 64%
which is
in
insane. Like,
revenues,
although
which is
we
insane.
don't
Yeah,
usually look at it because, like, the COVID
It's like a
cure
one-off
that we
event.
take at is
Yeah.
it is a one-off event, but 64% is insane numbers. Like,
insane
there's no
numbers.
doubt
Yeah,
Because
about it.
the base didn't move. That's why you can't say anything on that. Like
CAGR
post
over 5 years is not something that we see very usually, especially from a
very.
company of
company.
like that's known to be a market leader. Market leaders
Yeah,
don't grow at this level, but they seem to be growing at this level, and they're forecasted to continue to grow at these levels.
Yeah,
And
adaptable.
apparently, from our very objective and education and entertainment based analysis, uh, the stock is looking like something that our watch list will be happy to consume and pulp out some of it. Yeah. So maybe this is something that you all can also look into. That's all we're going to say right now.
so that's a wrap. Yeah,
Do any of you all have anything to add before we wrap this up?
No,
No, I guess that's it.
I think that
yeah,
sounds
Great.
that. Yeah.
that's
Then
great.
thank
That's
you guys for
great.
watching and stay tuned for the next episode next week. And
Yes.
that's a wrap.
Press the subscribe button
I'll end it. I'll end the recording.
and the bell
Yeah, yeah,
Wait,
icon.
wait,
and the
wait.
record. Yeah.
Yeah.